are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the monthly broker roundtable. Delayed a week this time because of a trip to Northern California. It was a terrific visit up there with Jeff and all the great agents up there, and had some great meetings. And unfortunately, one court session, but I think that's going to turn out in our favor. So it was a very good trip. And for the broker roundtable, it's going to be short and sweet like always today. The agenda is we're going to have just about 1 or 2 minutes from Movement Mortgage. Going to talk about some interesting things in the loan business. We're going to talk about getting answers to all of your questions. And what a wonderful thing that is for everybody to find out the answers to everything they ever wanted to know. And then we're going to talk a little bit about SkySlope for professionals. And I know all of us want to be professional agents, so we're going to talk a little bit about how to be one on SkySlope. And then we're going to have question and answer sessions, and you can ask whatever you feel like at that point. But so to start out with loan issues, we have Allison James, strategic partner, Movement Mortgage, and we are just delighted and so fortunate to have the senior mortgage advisor for San Diego here in our studios to talk to you, Shelley Hoyseth. Take it away, Shelley.
Hi, Ken. Wow, that was quite the introduction. Mainly what I wanted to chat a little bit about is kind of the California statistics on unsold inventory. Inventory is down a little bit right now. It's 25% reduction from the last period in November. It's about 10% reduced from a year ago in December. So that said, interest rates are down where they were kind of in the mid-4s. They're now in the high 3s or closer to 4. So we may start to see multiple offer situations again. With the reduction in inventory, there's less out there, especially in the, for the Southern California in the 400 price range or less, and in, Northern California probably in your lower, 200-300s. So my recommendation is what I've been seeing is some really kind of challenging files, clients that are in challenging situations that have bankruptcies less than 2 years ago, or they're here on work visas that don't quite qualify them for traditional financing, and all kinds of cool, interesting challenges that have come up recently. So my recommendation is that you get your buyers in front of a lender, preferably myself and my team, wink, wink, and let's get them approved first. These types of challenging files, and it seems like it doesn't matter how much they posture. I just have one recently where the client was a professional baseball player and just really touted himself as the best thing since sliced bread and all this stuff. The agents put him in contract, and time went by, and come to find out there's multiple short sales, foreclosures, very little verifiable income. So really just don't take your buyer's word for it. Let them be big shots with you, but get them in front of a lender right away, because those challenging files, they need to be put together with time and care. I never throw a file at an underwriter that isn't fully prepared with all of the explanations, all of the documentation. I really want to put files together with the best foot forward so we have the best chance of getting the approval. And then once we've got that finished, everyone can go into the transaction knowing they're ready to go. Nobody's getting their heart broken at the closing table with a last-minute denial. So that's my 2 bits. Keep an eye out with the new appraisal underwriting that's happening and the lower inventory. Just get your buyers ready early and go in there with confidence when you're writing offers. One other thing, I think I've talked about this again, is make sure that the listing agent, I have the contact information for the listing agent when you write an offer. I'd love to reach out to the listing agents, put them in a shock and awe situation to actually be hearing from a lender on a proactive basis to let them know about Movement Mortgages strategies, how we get loans through in such a quick time, in less than 20 days, and let them know that the borrowers, all the challenges have already been taken care of, the hurdles have been jumped, and they're approved and ready to go. So that's my 2 bits. I will pass you back off to your brokers.
Okay, thanks very much, Shelley. I'm told that my voice connection may be breaking up a little bit. I apologize if it's breaking up. Apparently, we have some kind of a network issue from my end, but we'll just have to try to live with it. The next item on the agenda is what, where, how, and when. Sometimes it's nice to put yourself in the other person's place when you're in a transaction or in a conversation or in a relationship, and here, just so everybody can get a good feel for what Jeff and I deal with on a daily basis, here are a few things that come our way quite often. What is our NEID number? If everybody doesn't know what that is, that's the number that you need for a HUD offer. Where's my CDA? Everybody probably knows what a CDA is, a commission disbursement authorization. What's our brokerage license number? I need a W-9 or a tax ID number, or how do we handle termite now with the new RPA? We get these questions quite often, and until now you've had to try to figure out where that is, or you've had, particularly if you don't read emails, no offense, or you've had to call Jeff or Ken or try to get a hold of them. Well, that is no longer the case. Now we have the most fabulous answers available 24/7.
Hello?
All, if I may be so bold. Hello, Jeff, are you there?
Yeah, we got a little static here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, keep going. I think we're over it.
Oh, okay. Anyway, here's the answer. It's faqs.allisonjames.info. This is a creation from the mind of Jeff Green, and it is a terrific website that everybody should be able to get access to and should subscribe to. And I'm going to switch over to that website, and I guess it's shut. I'll have to reopen it. So take it away, Jeff.
Okay.
Jeff, can you hear me?
Yeah, we kind of cut out there for a second. So looks like there's something on top of the FAQ site on the viewer, the what, when, where, and how. So you cut out there. So am I going to be talking about the FAQ site now? Is that where we're at on this? Hello, Ken?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah. So, all right. So we're going to talk about the FAQ site now. Is that correct? The audio broke up for just a second there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
please.
good.
I'm sorry. I lost you too. I couldn't hear you guys either.
All right. Well, I hope everyone else can hear well. But so, as Ken was mentioning, we wanted to put together a clearinghouse for all the information that you would need when dealing with transaction issues, or it's the middle of the night, you need a NAID number. I had somebody call me on Sunday night at 8 o'clock looking for the NAID number, and this all right here. So this site is basically set up with several components that you'll find really useful. the most important thing that you can discover on this site is up in the upper right-hand corner where it says Submit, and next to that is Search Agent FAQs. So what that means is if you have a question about anything, put it in that search bar, and it'll pull you up all the articles related to that. If the article is not in there, at the bottom of Getting Started, and you think it should be in there, at the bottom of Getting Started, that will click you. If you click on Your Questions, that'll open up a little form and say, hey, Jeff and Ken, I'd sure like to have this resource available, and we'll go ahead and put it in there for you. So you just fill in that form, and it'll be delivered to us, and we'll be good to go. The other thing that I want to point out is where it says Knowledge Base. If you scroll down into the Knowledge Base, there on the right-hand side, it will pull up for you a list of all the topics. The topics are divided into 4 main topics: communication, how to communicate, how to get updated; documents, these are transaction documents; general information; and then the systems that we have like SkySlope and Wolf Connect. Under the documents section, all the car forms will be in all caps. So if you see there's a section for the contingency for sale or purchase of other property, that's there. And under each document, there's going to be special updates and information. Take a look at the residential purchase agreement and joint escrow instructions section. Underneath that is there's an article on RPA, CA, paragraph 2C, which relates to, it's just an example, it just relates to the fact that some people do not fill in the information for election of agency and confirmation of agency relationships. So there's a little blurb on there that explains that. So what we will do when you make that mistake in your documents, we're going to send you a link back to this site so that you have a full explanation of the problem, why it's an issue, and the solution, what to do about it. So we make it really clear there's no ambiguity as to what to do about that. So that's the knowledge base section. Just a couple more things about the FAQ site. The FAQ site is where the Broker's Weekly Update lives. So if you click on Broker's Weekly Update here, you'll find today's Broker's Weekly Update. And then, by the way, anything that's in blue at the top of that is always the last article that was published, no matter what the topic is. So you would scroll down to the update for January 28th, and you'll notice that our intention, what Ken and I are trying to do, is communicate to you, and I see an error on here already. The broker on call is not dated correctly. I'm going to fix that. Next week's broker on call will be Ken Moon, which I'll describe in a moment. But the purpose of this is to communicate to you in about 3 minutes a week what's really important. Any kind of gotcha items, anything that would cause you to need some awareness of a problem that could emerge. So we're going to communicate to you, and you'll get an email with a hyperlink that will land you on this section, and you'll be able to pull up the most recent broker's update. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the FAQ site. Did you have anything to add on this, Ken?
No, that's great. The other thing is that you want to really make sure that the Stay Informed section down here, be sure and put your email address in here and subscribe. Then whenever a new update hits or a new addition to the FAQ site, something that's just happened, something that's maybe come up with the BRE, a response to another agent's question on something that's of common interest, you'll get an email or text message about it. So it's really an easy way to stay in touch with what's going on. And our purpose here is not to limit conversation with you guys at all. The thing is, we want to make sure that you have the information that you need available quickly and easily. So a lot easier than in a traditional brokerage, I might add, because I had a heck of a time getting these kind of answers where I used to work. So we're just trying to make this so that we're absolutely the best place to work there is in the real estate business. And my hat's off to Jeff for doing such a wonderful job on this. It's really really terrific.
Well, thanks, Ken.
Thanks very much, Jeff.
Yeah, I just wanted to point something out too, and that is, what we're trying to do in terms of communication is, in a sense, we are trying to limit one area so that we can expand another area of our communication. So we only have a certain amount of hours in the day, and we want to make those hours available to you as agents to deal with strategic issues and problems. If our whole day is filled up in telling people how to find the tax ID number or the NAID number or something that's, kind of administrative in nature, it would limit the amount of time that we can help you strategize and work through problems, and puts us in more of a hurried mode than being able to really take our time and go deep, and rather than just giving you a shallow answer. So that's the purpose of this. If you can use it, it basically banks time for us to help solve higher level problems and helps us do our job at a much more dedicated level to meet your needs. Absolutely.
Okay, thanks very much. And so we're going to get back to our agenda, and the SkySlope for pros that I was talking about is we've got a lot of training, and we've got a lot of things about SkySlope that we've done, and still we seem to have a lot of common mistakes. And I know sometimes it's not the agent, sometimes it's a transaction coordinator, but if you can help with this, it really would be a great assistance to us. We now have people reviewing the files, helping us review the files that are trying to adhere to these kinds of standards, and so you may be getting some responses on some of the documents that you've submitted that may seem a little different than what you're used to, but the purpose of this is to make sure that we get the file documented correctly so we're in compliance, and we would get past the scrutiny of a BRE audit should that occur. And also, if you put yourself in the place of somebody that has to review 300 or 400 documents a day, little things may not seem like much when you have to look at one of them, but you have to look at 400 of them. It'd be quite in terms of time. So the SkySlope mechanics issue is one that we'd really like some help with, and common mistakes that are happening on the new RPA. One of the things that's changed on the new RPA is that the buyers and sellers' signatures are not on the same page like it used to be on the old RPA. It used to be that the buyer was on page 8 and the seller was on page 8. Well, now you have the buyer on page 9 and the seller on page 10. That means that the buyer needs to initial the bottom of page 10. I can't even count the number of times we get this error. So if everybody could just keep in mind that you need to make sure that the buyer initials the bottom of page 10 when you submit an offer, that's what we need. If you're doing a trust listing, or you're doing a listing for an LLC, or you're doing a listing for anybody that's representing a company or a corporation or a trust or some entity other than themselves, you need the RCSD, the Representative Capacity Signature Addendum. It's pretty straightforward, but that's what's necessary. A lot of people forget that. BRE numbers. We were just on the FAQ site that showed what Jeff's BRE number is and what my BRE number is, and then at the top of that it said what the corporate BRE number is. That BRE number has to be on the contract for the company, and it's 01885684. If you can't remember that number, you need to look at the FAQ site, but the BRE numbers need to be on there. And the BRE number for the other side. If you look up the agent who's on the other side. If you look him up on the BRE website, you look up that agent, you'll find not only his number, but you'll find the number of his broker, and that both those need to go on the contract. Agency confirmation on the first page of the agreement. Make sure you check the boxes and put in the names of the firms that are representing both sides of the contract. It's required. It's got to be on. Counters and addenda now have, if you have a buyer counter, a lot of times, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. You can number these BC01, BC02, or you can just put counter 01 or counter 02, but they need to be numbered consistently through the contract so that each one has its own number. Otherwise, the references aren't correct. And speaking of that, on the references for counters and addenda, when you reference something with an addendum, make sure that you're referencing the correct document. If it's an addendum to a counteroffer, then make sure it references the counteroffer. If it's an addendum to the contract, make sure it references the RPA, that sort of thing. Listing agreements. Here's an interesting little tidbit. If you get a listing agreement signed without filling in a listing expiration date, does everybody know that that can be cause for revocation of your license? I didn't realize that until just recently. The BRE can actually revoke your license for doing that. So please, let's make sure we get a listing expiration date on our contracts. SkySlope mechanics. We have these nice checklists where people can upload their documents, and there's a facility in SkySlope to be able to split these PDF files. If you don't like the way that works, there's another program called PDF Split and Merge that's available that's very easy to use. But please, one document per category when possible. Now, if it's a category like addenda, you can have multiple addenda in there, obviously. But to have the whole package with all the different things that you might get on an offer and have that repeated in every slot, which is what some people do, makes it very difficult not only for the people to review the documents, but it also makes it so that it's impossible to get the BRE guy to say that you're doing a good job with your files. So we really have gotten a little more strict about that. We need to make sure that we don't put a whole bunch of different documents in each category. So
I just want to point out
the other thing is when we get an SBSA, for example, and some of the pages are upside down and it's not in the right sequence, it makes it very difficult to try to make sure that all the pages are there and they're all signed properly. So please make sure that the pages go in 1 through 10 or 11 or whatever it is, and make sure they're right side up. If you need any help with that, you can certainly talk to SkySlope support on that, and they can help you. Another thing about the pages that get scanned is PDF format is what the standard is, not HTML files or BMP files or TIFF files, because it makes it very difficult to see them. They're not consistent in format unless they're all PDF. So please do that. If you're not sure how to create a PDF file from something on your screen, for example, there are lots of different ways to do that, and SkySlope Tech Support can help you with that. Handwritten entries that are done in a lighter pen or something, and then when they're scanned are not legible, really please try to use a real dark pen or something and make sure that that what you upload is legible for us to be able to see it. Like I said, the reason for this is not just for us, but also for auditors and for the BRE. We need to document our files. We need to make sure that if an auditor was looking over our shoulder, he'd think that the file looked okay. So that's our goal. So the last part of this is file approval requirements. A lot of times people want to know, where's my CDA? Why didn't I get my CDA? There are a couple of things that are just real biggies. We want all the required documents, obviously, but sometimes, if we don't have a couple of things, we can get things approved, like if you don't have you're waiting for something. But there are a couple of things that are just the agent's visual inspection disclosure. It's required by law. It's our job to provide a disclosure from our view of the property to our agent, to our client. It's just your file's not going to get approved if you haven't done an agent's visual inspection disclosure. And please don't wait till the day before it's supposed to close to get your AVID done. This should be done first 7 to 10 days of a transaction and signed off by everybody, because that's when your client's going to be able to make a decision about whether they want to go with the property. So that's the purpose of this, is to inspect the property yourself and go on record and explain it. Now, the proper way to fill out an AVID is a much longer subject, and Jeff has done an excellent job of explaining what needs to go on an AVID and what does not need to go on an AVID, and it's all in the FAQ site. So please go to the FAQs if you've got any questions about proper wording. We don't want things on there like everything's good, looks great, no problems. I wouldn't. We don't want to make value judgments like that. We just want facts on the AVID. Commission instructions. I still get commission instructions signed by the agent. They're not supposed to be signed by the agent. They're supposed to be signed by Matt Crumbaugh. They need to go to agents@ajicorporate.com, and that's all on the FAQ site as well. It needs to go via a digital signature program like DigiSign or DocuSign, and then once it's approved, it gets you uploaded to commission instructions on the checklist. The last thing, I don't know, may not be the last thing, but it's another one of the biggest things. I'm not supposed to approve a file until the commission tab is complete. This is in SkySlope. If you look at the top, there's one for the checklist, there's one for the transaction, there's one for commission. On that commission tab, many, many, many people don't scroll down to the bottom of the page there and fill out who's supposed to get the money. Disbursement instructions down at the bottom of the page. You click on the agent, you put your name in there, the address. That all has to be filled out before I can approve your file, because that's where the information comes from that goes on your CDA. So please fill that out. You'll be happy you did, and so will your creditors. Getting help. If you need help on any of this, Jeff and I are available, of course, but 24/7 you can get help from SkySlope support. There's training available every Tuesday. You got an email this morning from Victoria about it, or yesterday, and please avail yourself of the help that's there. The information is there. It's very easy to get a hold of it. So for more information, you can go to this wonderful new website, faqs.allisonjames.info. If it's not there, be sure to fill in your question, and then give us a call, and we'll be happy to help you. Has anybody submitted any questions, Victoria?
Yeah,
I don't. Sorry.
I'd like to point something out though, Ken, real quick.
Okay.
Just on with regards to corrections, if you are issued a notice that you need to correct something, that falls under the 48-hour rule. You need to get that document back to us. I've had people that I've given corrections to, and they don't return them until after close of escrow. That's not good. That's out of compliance, and even a few days later is not compliant. You need to get on it right away. If you correct with an addendum, you can put that addendum or the corrected document back into the same folder. That's an exception of the rule that we want just one item in the folder. But if you have a corrected item, and the best way to get a correction is with an addendum, because if you put out a piece of paper that didn't have a checkbox filled out or a section filled out, and it got filled out, and we have the old copy in the record, there's no evidence that it was given to all the parties. So correcting with an addendum is really, really the best way to go on that. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Terrific. How about you, Victoria? Do we have any questions?
I do see a question here. It is for Shelley. So Kimberly, I will be sending that over to Shelley as soon as the webinar is over. She did have to jump on another call, so she is not currently on with us, but I will send that over to her as soon as we're done. And let me see. SkySlope doesn't work on an iPad, and I was told that it is with AJI. SkySlope just took a ticket and has not fixed this problem. Is it possible for SkySlope?
I'm having kind of a hard time hearing you, Shelley. Was that something about SkySlope on an iPad?
Yes. Can you hear me now, Ken?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that SkySlope has been working on having a mobile version of the application, but it's not ready for prime time yet, and that's kind of just the way it is at this point. It's a PC application, and at this point, and that's it will be until they get it so it's working on a mobile device properly.
Mm-hmm. And we will look into that and see when that will be happening. Let's see.
Yeah. Anything else?
Continued and place it in a. Let's see here. Is it possible for SkySlope to generate all docs and place it in a file folder with tabs, which we can then email this doc to our clients? It will be organized and in one PDF. I know we have the working document section in SkySlope. That is going to be another question for SkySlope support, so I can definitely reach out to them and find out if that is something that they can do in the future. So Anastasia, I will keep you updated.
Yeah,
I can answer that.
Okay.
I think the question is, once the documents are being sent to the client, are they delivered as one PDF? And the answer is, whenever you create a digital document or a digital envelope and you put various PDF documents in there and you tag them for digital signature, they come through to the other side as one PDF, and as soon as they sign them, they get as soon as all parties sign, they get a copy of it as one PDF. Mm-hmm. So your delivery responsibilities are done. You don't have to mess with anything after that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and otherwise also, I believe a lot of agents like to provide their clients with a complete copy of the entire transaction once the transaction's closed and archived. Mm-hmm. And once it's archived, I believe you can download a copy onto a CD. Isn't that correct?
You can once it has been archived. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that hopefully that answers the question. If not, was that from Anastasia?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If not, give us a call and we'd be happy to help you with any particulars on that. Anything else?
No, I'm not seeing anything. think that is
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming this week. We've got more information sources. These are the ones we always have up for new forms and new laws and legal updates. This is a great source of information from this PacWest attorney, John Giardinelli. GLaw Group, apc.com. You can get a free newsletter there and updates on what's going on with laws in California. And for future events, our regular monthly roundtable will be February 25th at 10 a.m. We're going to be talking about making small changes to get big results. And please, we've been sending out a broker update every week. That's where we let you know what's going on so we don't bombard you with emails. You please just read those emails and check out the broker update, which takes you to the FAQ site for the latest broker update. We'd really appreciate it. We're trying to have some kind of an event just about every Wednesday, either an online webinar or something in person, like the great mixer that we had a couple weeks ago. We've got something for everybody, and tell any other agents you know about how great this is, because you get referral fees and you can eliminate all your own fees. So how could it be any better than that? So everybody have a great day, and if anybody needs some help with anything, Jeff and I are here to help. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.